Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa Parsons, and today I wanted to share with you a strategy I found in one of the articles we read this week about supporting all learners in learners' comprehension in math. So upon reading this article called Mathematics, the Common Core and Language by Judith Moshkevich, I came to a strategy about math practices and teaching English learners. And I was drawn to this article because this week we have parent conferences, and I found myself talking to a lot of parents about how practices help all students in math instruction. And many parents, including some of my co-teachers, don't believe the math practices should be assessed for our report card. So we don't actually give grades, but rather effort grades. And I've actually been indifferent about the issue. But after reading this article, I realized how valuable math practices are for students by supporting mathematical reasoning and sense making. The article states engaging students in mathematical practices instruction should, quote, provide opportunities for students to engage in 8 different mathematical practices, end quote. Thus, one strategy that I found in the article was to emphasize the use of discussions and defining precision to aid in comprehension. So, for example, Moskovich encourages teachers to incorporate home language and experiences into class discussion. This research, quote, shows that all ELs, even as they are learning English, can participate in discussions where they grapple with important mathematical content, end quote. In class discussions, mathematical practices are supported because students are learning to describe, quote, patterns, make generalizations, and use representations to support their claims, end quote. And when teaching math, I feel like it's important to get multiple perspectives from a variety of students. And I've seen this prompt self-reflection and even collaborations with their peers. And also time is also important in discussions. And time allows the use of a variety of participation structures like small groups, pairs, student presentations, and that allows all students to participate. This is a list of the Common Core practices and how we assess them at my school for 3rd grade. One of the mathematical practices in Common Core is students attending precision, which is number 6 right here. And you can see in my first impression, of course, we would assume that this practice means what it says. So calculate accurately and efficiently, explain thinking using mathematics vocabulary, and use appropriate symbols and specify units of measure. But the article by Moskovich says instruction should move away from interpreting precision to mean using the precise word, and instead focus on how precision works in mathematical practices, end quote. And so this means that claims can be imperfect language, and attending to precision at the individual word meaning level will get in the way of students expressing their emerging mathematical ideas. So they use a really great example in the actual article. Here's the article here at the end. And so even though I didn't know this specifically, I have already been supporting my ELs and my students in this way. And so it makes me feel good to know that I'm not focusing on how they're saying a word, but more giving the space and time to express their mathematical thinking and ideas. And so I'm glad this way of thinking is encouraged. At the end of the article, they show this vignette here, and the teacher and the students are looking at this figure, this Tangram puzzle. And you can see here Julian wants to talk about the parallel lines, but he says paralela, holding up a rectangle voice and trails off. And so instead of the teacher saying, oh no, I'm going to stop you right there, parallel is not right, she says, it's parallel, it's very interesting, wow. Can you describe what that is? And so he goes on to actually saying that they're never going to meet. And he's also imagining what happens when the parallel sides are of the rectangle are extended. So if we only, as teachers, focus on vocabulary, we would miss his thinking. So this is the strategy I wanted to share with you: the precision and the use of discussions. Thank you.